Hey guys, welcome back to the podcast. I'm Ryan.
And I'm Ocean.
And thank you so much for tuning back in. So today we are going to talk about book characters and couples we love. So Ocean, do you want to start us off?
Yes. One of my favorite characters would be Katniss Everdeen.
Same.
Yes. Mm-hmm. I think I've talked about this before, but I love that she is a very complex character, and I love that she's a really good representation of like high functioning anxiety and PTSD. And I like that she is hard to like sometimes, and she can be really mean, she can be really violent, she can be manipulative, but that makes so much sense given her past and like the circumstances that she's in, that she's just learned to do whatever she can to survive and like just protect herself and defend herself. And I love how that's portrayed, and I think she's just such a likable character, and she's so smart. Mm-hmm. And she's one of my favorite like female characters.
And she's so strong.
Literally.
I agree with everything you said 100%. I think she's such a good representation of those things. I think she's so complex, but I think that's what makes her so likable in some ways, because she can be so unlikable that it's realistic, and everyone knows like it's not normal, but like whenever you go through like traumatizing things, like you're gonna be a little bit messed up, and like, you know, you're gonna perceive things differently, and I think that, you know, I think she's just such a good representation of all those things.
Yeah.
Well, I agree with you entirely. A character I love is Patroclus from The Song of Achilles.
Yes, me too.
Because he's like the better half of Achilles, and he's kind, understanding, but he also is complex, and he also makes mistakes. Like, he slept with Achilles' wife.
Literally, but why?
Literally, we'll never know why. But he does things that we don't understand, and does things that really, he might not even have an explanation for it himself, because sometimes people do things that they can't explain.
I was like thinking about that, and I thought maybe it's because in the Song of Achilles, like in the time period, there was so much misogyny, and like the women were so incredibly objectified, and like having sex with them was probably like, from his perspective, from how he grew up, that was like the main thing that people did with women, and that was like their main purpose. And like, he's not a misogynistic character at all, and that's one of the things I love about him. Like, he's in such a misogynistic like time period, but he sees them as humans, and you can like see that. But he maybe like, he didn't know much about women, and that's all he saw from like his childhood, so he thought that was the only way he could make her feel better. That's what I thought. Maybe that's
actually really insightful. I didn't even think about that at all. I just thought he was being a weirdo.
Yeah,
I was just like, why is he doing this? That's actually a really, really good explanation. But yeah, I just like his character a lot because he seems very real.
Another one of my favorite couples in a book would be Pip and that guy. What's his name?
Pip and Robbie?
Robbie, yeah.
Yes. A Good Girl's Guide to Murder.
Was that his name? Wait.
I think. Hold on, let me get Google.
Hold on. It's been a little while since I've read this book.
Me too. The TV show was really good. Have you seen it?
I haven't.
Yep, Robbie.
Yeah, they're one of my favorite couples because I love them both as characters, and I just thought he was such a nice guy. He was so sweet, and I love Pip, and I thought like he's so supportive, and like he also is really grounding for her because she gets like lost in the cases that she's trying to solve, and I just like thought he was so sweet.
He literally helps her hide a body.
Literally, like what?
Like, if that isn't love, I don't know what is, bro.
Literally. Wait, was that in the third book?
That was in the third.
I haven't read that yet. Oh.
Sorry.
That's okay.
But they are a really good relationship. I'm gonna say a really potentially basic favorite couple. Feyre and Rhysand from ACOTAR. A Court of Thorns and Roses. Okay, I did not like their relationship as much in the most recent book because Rhysand hides something very, very big from Feyre that she 100,000,000% had the right to know.
Oh my god.
Especially because it had to do with her own body.
What?
Okay, spoilers. Do you want me to tell you?
Yeah.
So she gets pregnant, but they conceived while she was, because she has powers, and she shifted into like, I forget what they're called, but a person with wings. And he's like a half one of those people. And because they conceived the child at that time, the child has wings, but you need a specific birth canal to be able to birth a child with wings. She didn't have that birth canal. So she was going to die giving birth to the child, and the child was going to die. Rhysand knew this, didn't tell her, hid it from her. The only reason why Feyre found out is because her sister was mad at her and told her about it. And the only thing that saved her was her sister's powers in the end. Rhysand said he was trying to find a way, but I thought that was completely disrespectful of Rhysand because he didn't say at all that she was going to die from it. And it's her own body. She's growing this thing. She's giving birth to it. It's her body. It's her life. She should 100,000,000% have the right to know.
Yeah, that's insane. Oh my god.
So that was crazy. So I didn't like him then because before that I thought he was like super kind and supportive and stuff, but I lost a lot of respect for him at that time because that's just a really messed up thing to do. You don't do that to your partner, to your mate, you know? So besides that storyline, but I think it was a really important storyline, but that was not his best moment. But besides that, like especially in the book A Court of Mist and Fury, they are one of my favorite book couples because they really do make each other better. Yeah, so they're one of my favorites. Sorry to the Tamlin stans. I don't know how anyone could be Team Tamlin, or as I like to call him, Tampon, because he's a dirty tampon and he's absolutely horrible. You will find out, Ocean. You will find out why he's so terrible. He is so terrible. Anyone who's Team Tamlin, I don't hate you, but I don't understand why you like him.
Yeah. Another favorite character, I mentioned it last episode, but would be the characters from The Secret History, especially Richard, because, like, especially Henry and Richard specifically, and maybe Francis too. Not the twins. I don't know. I don't like them.
That's fair, because they're incestuous.
They're incestuous, and they're just like... But I'd say Richard, he's a very interesting character. He is, I think, really, really well written. There's one scene in the book, there's one part of the book where he almost dies over the winter because he is too scared to ask anyone for help, and he's living in like this, he's like renting this apartment because they're not allowed to stay over at the school over winter for some reason. So all you can do is like rent this apartment, and it's like horrible, and it has like a hole in the ceiling, and there's no heating, and he's like dying of hypothermia, but he's too scared to ask anyone for help. Oh my goodness. So he almost dies, and I was like, that is so real. That's something that I would do.
Oh my gosh. Well, I hope you know. You can call me and I'll help you, but...
But yeah, he's a very like, at times he's like a pathetic character, because I'm like,
why are you putting yourself in this situation?
Yeah, literally. And he puts like his need for validation, his need for acceptance over his morals, and I think that's very interesting. And yeah, he's not a good character, he's not a good person, but he's very interesting, and you can't help but like root for him sometimes, and you can't help but like sympathize for him sometimes. And
sometimes the least likable characters are the ones you like the most because they're so complex, and it doesn't mean they're good people. It just means that they're so complex that on some levels you can sympathize with them, and on other levels you can hate them. And that can make you really like, and in a way be attached to the character.
Yeah. And I think personally that he is like depressed, and I think he's a very good and interesting representation of that. I think he's an interesting representation of living your life passively, of being insecure, and also like dissociation at times. And I think that it's very interesting, and you get very immersed in his character when you're reading it, and I think that's like the author does such a good job at like really immersing yourself in that character and seeing the world through his eyes. And Yeah, I think he's just really interesting, and I think I really like Henry from that book. He's evil. He's
Yeah, he
horrible.
sounds evil.
I think he's a little sociopath, but he is so smart and so interesting. And every time he talks, I'm like, wow, that's crazy.
It's like, it makes you feel better as a person. It's like, wow, like this guy's evil. Like, I'm okay.
Yeah. But yeah, very interesting characters. Love that book.
They sound very interesting. I tried to stick with characters that I remember the best because there are some books where I really, really liked the characters. Like in If We Were Villains, I really liked Oliver and James, but they were super complex and, you know, they weren't always likable. But I didn't think I could say enough about them to mention them really in depth in this video.
Yeah.
But ones that I can is, yes, okay, Throne of Glass, Lysandra and Aelin Galathynius. I think that's how you pronounce her last name. I freaking love them so. And of course I love Feyre too. She's a queen. And Nesta from ACOTAR. But right now we're talking about Aelin and Lysandra. Oh my god. The definition of girl bosses. Lysandra is a shapeshifter. And she has been subjected to being treated horribly by men her entire life. Specifically, I forget his name, but he was like one of the main villains in the series, and he sucks. But she killed him, so
Yay.
she slit his throat in his sleep. Yes, he deserved it. And Aelin, she literally, despite all of her fears, changes the world order, changes the world, defeats the biggest villain, and like creates these bonds, these friendships, these relationships, helps so many people, saves so many people. She's just a girl boss. She's just a queen.
I love
And
that.
then, of course, there's Feyre and Nesta from ACOTAR. Since that series isn't done, we don't know what's going to happen with their characters yet. But they are girl bosses. Nesta eventually worked on herself, even though she didn't want to at times. And she got stronger, and she conquered a lot of her fears. And she made friends. And she ended up falling in love and finding her mate. And she's just, despite how much she went through, she's so strong. And I admire that so much about her. Because she's a very complex character. You don't always like Nesta, but she's so strong. And Feyre is also incredibly strong. She's also been through a lot. She's, you know, obviously had some trauma, but because of her found family, she's able to get through it and become a better person despite all those traumatizing things. And there's something so admirable about women in power who are complex, not always likable, strong, have been through so much, but are still good people and want the best for others. There's something so admirable about that. And that's something I love about Sarah J. Maas's writing, is that not all of her characters are perfect, especially Bryce in Crescent City. And, you know, they aren't perfect, and a lot of the times they're flawed and they're going through things and they don't have a good mental health. But they always end up, not all of them, but they end up working on themselves and reflecting and finding people around them. And it may take years, but the growth happens over time. And it's just so admirable. And it really shows that, like, you can do anything. You can get through really difficult things. And sometimes you need support to get through those things.
Yeah.
And I just think those things are beautiful. I just think those characters represent something really, really beautiful about real life and complexity.
Yeah, I think that's like another reason why I love Katniss so much.
The writing is beautiful, and I think the way she writes is beautiful, and I think the characters she creates are beautiful. And like, I will bash Tamlin all day. I hate him so much, but she wrote him so well. And there's a reason why everyone hates him. There are multiple reasons why, but she wrote those so well. She wrote those reasons so well. She wrote out everything so well. And there's just something so beautiful about all of those things, about being able to immerse someone in that world so much. And going back to, like, the women that I was mentioning earlier, like Aelin and Lysandra and Feyre and Nesta and even Elaine, like, there's something just so beautiful about complex female characters. And someone who's able to write the female experience and complexity so well.
That was so beautiful. Oh my God.
I just love her so much. Like, no one understands. I love her on a level because I found her books at the right time. Like, her books found me when I was like burnt out and sad and not in a good mental space, and they literally have helped me in so many different ways. I've read almost her entire collection of books.
Oh my God.
I only have 4 more to read. And so it's like, I just admire her so much, and her books found me at the right time. Her characters I resonated with on many levels, and I just find her writing beautiful. And I think that if anyone's going through a rough time and needs kind of, characters like that they can kind of relate to, or maybe see themselves a little bit in, or they want a complex kind of story, then I think that would be a really good read, any of her books. Yeah,
I love that.
Anyway, sorry guys. Sarah J. Rittenhouse rant over. But yeah, those are some of my favorite characters of all time, just for like all the reasons I said. And I could talk about them for years, but I would be repeating the exact same things I just said. So I'm going to save you guys, and I'm going to ask Ocean, what other couple do you like?
Another couple that I like would be Kaz and Inej from the Six of Crows series. I think that they are both characters that really, really struggle to be vulnerable because they've been through so much that they're both very protective of themselves, and they kind of put up like a front of like, I'm really tough and like I'm really scary, don't mess with me, and like they struggle to be vulnerable emotionally, and also like they cannot touch each other because Inej, she has a lot of trauma with men, and then Kaz, spoiler alert, this is a spoiler, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
But his past is that he and his brother got really, really sick. There was like a sickness going around. They're both very poor. They lived on the street. So they got sick, and Kaz like passed out because of how sick he was, and he was passed out for like a really long time. Like, you couldn't wake him up, and his brother was dead. So they were found in they thought that they were both dead, so they both threw them into like the canal, which was filled with dead bodies because it was like a plague.
Yeah.
And then Kaz wakes up on a pile of dead bodies in the river with his dead brother, and he didn't know how to swim. Yeah, and so he didn't know how to swim, so he had to hold onto his dead brother's body and like try to push through all these dead bodies. So he doesn't like being touched, and he wears gloves all the time because he cannot touch human skin because it reminds him of like that. So yeah, so they're both incredibly complex characters, but they both love each other, but they can't bring themselves to like be close or touch each other because...
Do they eventually?
They try. There's like a scene where they like try to kiss, and then they get like they can't.
Bro.
They're both like, they're like, whoa.
Hey, you know what? Whatever works in the relationship. If you guys can't, and then that's fine. You do you.
Yeah. But I just find that's like so interesting and so well written, and they both like grow so much as people to be able to confess that they love each other, because they're also very, like I mentioned, like they're very afraid of vulnerability. So it shows a lot of growth. And I love that. And they're both really likable characters, especially Inej. I love her so much.
Yeah.
What a girl boss.
That sounds beautiful, I think.
Yeah.
Also, the amount of respect in a relationship like that, where you respect each other's boundaries and respect that, this is how it's going to be, maybe not forever, but for the future, in the near future. Like, I think that's really respectful. That sounds like a very kind of like equal relationship.
Yeah.
That's really nice. I'm trying to think of another couple. Well, I mean, Ari and Dante from Aristotle and Dante Discover the Secrets of the Universe. Their relationship wasn't perfect, but I mean, they really did bring out the best in each other. And I think that's beautiful. I think when you find a love that brings out the best in you, that's a really beautiful thing. And that's what they were. And so I won't go on and on too much about it, because we did talk about it in 2 episodes, but I think their love is definitely very beautiful. And while it's not perfect all the time, that's almost kind of realistic in a way, because relationships are never perfect.
Another couple that I love would be Achilles and Patroclus. Especially like the first 2/3 of the book, I find like Achilles, devolves near the end and like
Yeah.
yeah. But I just find that is such a poetic and beautiful way to write love, and they are just so in love with each other. It's very like intense, and like their love for each other is like their whole world, and I thought that was really beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Another couple I really like is Linus and Arthur from The House in the Cerulean Sea. And it's just because, like, Linus was in a job that he didn't really like, and then he goes to the island to look at the orphanage. And I already talked about it a bit in the last episode, but Linus's job, he has to go to like an orphanage, or he has to go to orphanages and see if they're operating correctly. And he's sent to one run by Arthur, and they end up like falling in love, and he ends up finding himself on the island and feeling like a father to the kids that are in the orphanage, and feeling like in love with Arthur and stuff. And I think that that's really beautiful, that I think that's a really good representation of it doesn't always have to be love that makes you find yourself, but whenever you find something that helps you become the best version of yourself, whether it's like a friendship or whether it's like, something like that, that's really beautiful. And I feel like that's a really beautiful representation. I feel like that book is just such a good representation of love, because he falls in love with the island, he falls in love with Arthur, he falls in love with like the kids, not romantically, obviously, but with the kids, but it's just so beautiful. It's just such a good, like, overall love story. Like, a love for your family.
Yeah.
And so I thought that was really beautiful. And, yeah, so that was a couple that I loved. Also just because they were so sweet and supportive of each other. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if I have any more.
Yeah. Well, I have some characters that I feel like should be mentioned, especially because the movie just came out. Ryland Grace and Rocky from Project Hail Mary. I love them both so much.
Too.
Their friendship is the cutest freaking thing ever.
Oh my god.
And the representation, like that representation in the movie is beautiful. Rocky in the movie is so freaking cute. He reminded me of my cat. He reminded me of my cat, and I was like freaking out. I was like, this is so cute. He's so cute.
I feel like they did those characters so much justice in the movie.
And spoilers, Ryland is he's videotaping himself. He's like, I never get a moment's peace. I'm never alone. He's always listening. And then Rocky's like, who are you talking to? And I just thought that was so funny. I thought it was so good. And I think that Ryan Gosling was a really good Ryland Grace. Because he captured the humor perfectly, because there is a lot of humor in the book. Well, it also it got the serious parts as well. And I just thought it was really, really well done. The cinematography was stunning, gorgeous. Everything about it was so well done. I wouldn't be surprised if it 100%. I would not be surprised if it won awards.
Yeah.
It should win awards.
It would deserve it 100%.
Rocky was a puppet. Like, they made an actual puppet for Rocky. And I think the amount of talent, wow. I just thought it was amazing. I thought it was so good. I thought it was adorable. It's such a beautiful story of friendship and of finding friends, finding the most strangest of friends. They're in the middle of outer space, and they're aliens to one another, and they become best friends.
Yeah.
And it's just so sweet. I love Ryland Grace and Rocky. They are amazing, and I love that they love each other so much.
Yeah, I agree 100%.
And the movie was so well done. Probably one of the best, if not the best movie adaptation from book to screen I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
Is there anything you would like to add?
I think we should do an episode on the show and the movie.
I agree 100%, because there's so much to unpack there.
Wait, did I say the show? I meant the book.
It's okay. Hey, you had 16 hours of sleep. How is this happening?
This is just who I am.
Honestly, same. I get it. Like,
yeah.
Exams. Blame everything on exams.
Bro, I had to memorize every fucking characteristic of every protist, every primate, every mammal, every the path from Uniconta to all the way down to Homo sapien.
This is why I'm not a biology major.
Yeah.
I am so sorry.
Every time period, from the Hadean time period all the way over to, I think we're in Circazoan. I don't even remember. I don't even remember.
Dude, I don't know how you do it.
Me neither.
That's crazy. Like, you pulled an all-nighter. Like, I haven't done that since the 7th grade. Just because I was playing Roblox all night.
That's beautiful.
I know. R.I.P. OG Roblox.
Yeah.
That's crazy, though. I'm so sorry.
It's okay. It'll be worth it
Yeah.
when I'm a freaking biologist.
Mm-hmm. This is why I'm a Bachelor of Arts. Like, the readings I have to read are all about death and destruction. Like, humans will always repeat what they did in the past. There's no hope for the future. That's literally all I read, bro. That's all my assigned readings. Death, destruction, war. You know what, though? When graduation comes, I am going to feel like I earned it.
Yeah.
I'm going to be like, I earned this. Because we're working so hard. We're going to be like, dang right, I get this diploma. I worked my butt off for it.
Oh my god, we could do a history fun fact and a bio fun fact every episode.
I don't know if okay, let me try to think of a history fun fact. I don't know if there's any fun history facts. History's kind of depressing.
That's so true.
Okay. Let me think about this. I honestly don't even know.
It could even be a not fun fact.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of like a Roman one because I took a Roman course that I really, really loved, a Roman civilization course. Okay. I think I have one. Do you want me to say it?
Yeah.
So, there was an emperor named Nero in Rome.
Oh my god, he's in Percy Jackson, bro.
Really?
Yeah.
Dude, he was crazy.
Oh shit.
And there was a great fire in his reign, and a lot of people think he started the fire because where all the houses burned, there was a free lot, and he built his golden house over it. An elaborate house on top of it. So, and there's rumors that he like sang and danced to music whenever the fire was burning. So
he's crazy.
yeah, so a lot of people think he started the fire.
Whoa.
And it began in the Circus Maximus, which was a place where they would have like chariot races and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And it was all made of wood, so it burned pretty fast. But anyway, do you have a fun fact?
Chipmunks, they use counter shading. The reason why they have white bellies and they are like brown on top is because I can't speak. Oh my god. Is because it's something called counter shading, which is a way that they disguise themselves, and like the way the light like hits them makes them really hard to see because they're white on like half of them, on the under half, if that makes sense.
No, it does make sense. That's really interesting.
Like if you Google it, like there's pictures that will show you how it works. It's really cool.
That's really interesting.
Literally.
Anyway, though, is there anything else you'd like to add to the episode?
We didn't evolve from chimpanzees. That's all I have to say.
Period. Okay. Well, all right, guys. Well, thank you so much for joining us in this episode. We hope you enjoyed. If you're on YouTube, please like and subscribe. And if you're on Spotify, please leave us a rating and share this podcast to whoever you think might enjoy it. Thank you so much for listening, and we hope that you have an amazing rest of your day. Bye, guys.
Bye.